You are now listening to or watching the It Takes All Kinds podcast.
Yeah, and if you aren't, you can head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and listen to us now. Or head on over to Drib on YouTube and watch the video version as well.
And if you'd like to stay up to date on when we're releasing a new episode or any other fun information about the podcast, you can give us a follow on Instagram at It Takes All Kinds Podcast and on Twitter at ITAK Podcast. That's ITAK Podcast.
Without saying much else, we hope you enjoy this episode.
He's saying chowder?
Soda!
Oh, soda. What is that from?
He says, Minnesota!
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. Joe Biden. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. I was thinking it was a different guy. That one, like, senator, though. Woo!
Oh, no. Nope, not that guy.
Same guy, pretty much.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
I love democracy.
Me
I
too.
love the republic.
We're going. What's up?
Oh,
You're the intro guy, right?
hey, everybody. Welcome to the It
The
Takes All...
vultures are waiting to pick your bones.
That was...
Good
that-
debut.
I can't believe she actually said that.
She said it so many times, too.
Yeah,
which is
there's
crazy.
so many.
Here, I'll play. Let me play it clean.
The vultures are waiting to pick your bones.
Okay, sorry.
That's great. That's a
Had to
great
get- had
top.
to get clean.
Welcome to It Takes All Kinds, episode 108. 108! Whoa! We are recording this on Tuesday, March 28th. You will be hearing this on Friday,
Hey.
March 31st.
Wow. Opening day for the home opener for the Cardinals, right? Opening day? Home opener? Which one is it? I can't remember. It's one of them.
I think it's just opening day.
I thought their first game was tomorrow. Right? That's what I thought I heard on the television news. Well, no. Oh, shit. Yeah, no. I don't know. I just overheard it in passing.
It's Thursday. It's on Thursday, actually. That's
Oh,
opening day.
shit. Oh, shit. I'm going to miss it.
Yeah.
How am I going to get there on
They're
time?
opening...
They're opening a can of Budweiser
Yeah.
from 1960.
They're playing the Blue Jays opening day.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That's crazy. Home opener, I guess.
We saw the Oreos.
Yeah. They played the Oreos a couple days ago. Yesterday.
Well, although that is very exciting, Gavin.
Well, and then they got beat by the Astros 24-1. So,
Oof.
and spring training.
Well, that's all practice, anyways.
Hello there.
Folks, today
Well,
we're not.
Also, this is
Today
episode
we're-
108.
That is right. And today we're not going to talk about baseball, as far as I know.
We're the baseball podcast now.
Pretty much. Actually, speaking of, Gavin, I'm glad that gives me a segue into some reaction to last week's episode. We have a comment here on the last episode that says Simpsons ? Very topical.
Always is. It really is. I mean,
And I don't
it's
know who
actually
this person is.
it's actually kind of becoming a bit
Is it?
on our channel.
Oh, on our yeah.
Like on the Drib channel, just a bit in general that like we really fucking love The Simpsons, even though like we never watched it.
Right. I mean, I've watched it.
I think I've watched a couple Treehouse of Terror
Nice.
episodes before. It just comes on, after the news. So like, we'll watch a couple episodes a year, maybe
Right.
if that. I do, but I also get a whole bunch of references
Right.
on Twitter from this guy named Dave Itzkoff. I think he's a writer for the New York Times.
The name sounds very familiar.
He's a Twitter personality. And he always quotes things from the Simpsons.
Wow, that has to get annoying.
Actually, it's kind of incredible, but he obviously changes the quotes a little bit at the bottom of the screen with like the closed captioning. Changes it just a little bit to be more topical, but
He puts his own inflection on it.
yeah, he puts a whole bunch of schmutz on it.
A whole bunch of schmutz on it. Do you know I know somebody who
Was on The Simpsons?
was on him. He was
Yeah.
actually on it.
Yeah.
As a real person.
Yeah.
No, he
Playing himself?
he does not all, but he is like he draws and animates some of the backgrounds for Simpsons episodes.
Wow.
I know him through he's done work for Office Hours. Some really good not to I love all the artists that we have, but like he's up there as one of my
Yeah, I mean, he's got
favorites.
professional. He's
Right.
got like legit.
Yeah. Really
Not
cool
that
stuff.
any other way is unlegitimate, but like that
no,
would be
I know what
the
you're saying.
that would be the top of
Yeah.
like the art.
For
Like,
sure.
Like
I mean-
I would if personally I'd shoot to have my art on a movie or a TV.
Right. I mean, like, I'm sure Top would be like actually drawing The Simpsons, not the
I
background.
guess you're right. Yeah.
Not to poo-poo what he
Yeah.
does, because it's really good work. But, you know,
Hey,
Hey,
listen,
man.
someone's got to do it.
somebody's got to do it, and it's not going to be me. I can't.
Yeah, I can't draw for shit.
I can't. Last time I touched a pencil, my finger burnt
Yeah.
in half. But guys, we're not going to be talking about The Simpsons. We are going to be talking about some of our own stuff.
That was a good segue from baseball to Simpsons.
Yeah, it's just like it just
It's
all.
so topical all the time.
Well, the thing about this show is that everything just flows so well, and
Right.
we're so good at segues and writing them. We're going to be talking about. We just went and saw Scream 6, which
We
is
saw
going to be
what,
interesting.
Thursday night?
Yeah,
Okay.
almost a week ago. We're going to be talking about
Damn!
the deadly chocolate factory
deadly?
explosion, which sounds crazy to say. Touch a little bit on the school shooting that happened in Tennessee. You know, very lightly. Mostly just going to be touching on like kind of the reactions to it and stuff like that. Because I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like it's important to touch on, and it's an interesting is a weird word to use for it, but. Anyways, that's what we're going to be talking about. Of course, Next Door Drama and our What You Listen To segment. As always, Gavin, what's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm all right. School's kind of picking back up. We just had spring break last week. And I also dropped off my car last week. So
So I'm
I'm
going to
just
say
saying-
I also dropped out.
I also dropped out. No, I dropped off my car. I did not drop out. I'm still doing well in school. So, as far as you know. And it was a week ago. Yesterday, I dropped off my car, and it finally got finished today. They called me this afternoon, but I had a lot of stuff to do today, so I couldn't get to it. So we're getting it tomorrow morning, bright and
oh,
early.
so you don't
Don't have it.
Okay.
No, I don't have it yet.
didn't.
But it's of course this is why I say like school's kind of kicking my ass right now is because of course this week is a week. Every single class period this week we have to go to.
Mhm.
Have to. If I miss it, I can't make it up kind of thing.
Because
It's just required. Like it's a required class. It's been on the
Oh.
calendar for months. We have to go to this. It's been on the
Okay.
calendar for months. We have today
like
was there
specific
was
things are
yeah, we had a
going on.
great assignment today. We have a specific seminar tomorrow for like one of the 2 times we meet for this fucking class. Pardon my French, but we meet for this
Yeah.
class, and it's supposed to be a basically all virtual class, but we meet in person one other time this semester, and that was the very first day.
Mhm.
And of course, this is the week that I have to be there at 10 a.m. the next day.
Mhm.
So I had to do that, and then I was supposed to have band tonight, and I had a great assignment today. Yesterday I had lab. I couldn't miss that. I already missed 1 because of COVID, so can't miss 2 if I miss 2 unexcused. I think COVID was excused, but if I
I
were to
hope
say
so.
miss it for not being able to go, I would only have 1 more, and then I'd have to drop the class and redo it. So I prefer not to do that.
Right.
So school, of course, is just like you have to show up to everything this week, basically. Not actually. I could have probably missed something, but
Right.
I also don't want to have to have the added stress of that. Life happens also outside of school, and I think a lot of teachers are beginning to understand that, especially after COVID. I also on Thursday I had like Teacher of the Year meetings.
Did you win?
No, I didn't win. But I listened to teachers talk and answer questions, and had some really good insight on the way that teachers work, professors work. And that was one thing that was a consistent theme across all the professors was that they realized that COVID kind of really put an emphasis on how much stress has been put on the students' lives in general, but then like how much happens outside of school that like nobody knows about. And so this week I can definitely see why being a commuter like further away than like 30 minutes really fucking sucks.
Right.
Because like I don't know how anybody commutes to school. I mean, I live like 5 minutes away, but that's not really like a commute in my opinion. That's like I
No.
basically live on campus. I could walk to school if I wanted to.
Right.
So anyway, just real pisser this week because I didn't have a car for the first 2 days of the week.
Fun. fun.
Yeah, it's just not fun because I guess have better focus whenever I'm like at my apartment.
Right.
Because like I go home and it's like, okay, I'm home. You know, it's like, okay, I don't have anything to worry about.
Right.
And also I work last night, and it's just, and I had to get to work all weekend without a car. And I had to get to work like last
How'd you
night.
do that?
I used my dad's van.
Oh,
So-
so you had a car, just not
Yeah,
yours.
just not mine. Yeah.
right, which is not fun.
Yeah, because my dad had to leave work, it just put a lot of stress onto unnecessary stress to
Yep.
like not have a car, because it's like you don't realize how much I don't realize how much I use a car until like you take away my
Mhm.
car, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, I actually do need it to do everything around me.
Right.
That's the problem of having a car centric car, and I'm very anti car, but like I like my car, but like I'm just like anti car legislation.
Yeah.
Like if it'd be really cool if we had like more like a high speed rail system, or like better
Yeah,
metro, or like not like a
100%.
shitty metro. Like it'd
Yep.
be really cool if like it's so interesting. I mean, obviously there's cars in other countries, but they're not as like emphasized as they are here. Here, if you don't have a car, it's basically like you don't have a job, you don't
Right.
have anything. Like you have nothing to live for if you don't have a car. It seems.
Right. Well, and I know you're very anti-seatbelt.
Yeah, a big anti seatbelt guy.
Libertarian.
And anti driver's license too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Lower the age of consent.
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I thought, well, libertarian, it just goes hand in
Yeah,
hand, I
yeah.
thought.
No, not quite that.
You're liberal, right? Libertarian.
Yeah, libertarian. It's in the name.
I think I used to think that when I was like,
yeah, I think I
didn't
did
have
too. I was like,
my
how much
head-
different can a libertarian be from a liberal?
Right. And, I just thought they were the same. I thought it was just a shortened version for it. I was like, wow, that's a lot of.
Yeah.
Well, because I didn't know what any of them meant. I knew Republican and Democrat, but
Sure.
I didn't really know the
Yeah. Okay.
difference. And I didn't know anybody that was a libertarian. I don't think I did.
No, I don't think I did either.
So you just have, you know what? It's interesting to me, and I'm not trying to cut you off if you're not done,
But I also wanted to mention.
Yeah.
I texted you. I was like, I got basically like a daily update in my car from the
Right.
auto place, and they're like, hey, so they called me like Wednesday, just to give a timeline. They called me Wednesday and were like, hey, we ordered the parts for the car. Nissan put out like a bulletin saying, hey, fix these things in the car. I probably said it a million times, like probably 5 or 6 different people. So I feel like I've told the story a million different times.
Sure.
But
We'll be as brief or as long.
yeah,
as
and
you-
then Friday, they called me and they're like, Friday afternoon, like 3:30, 3:45. They're like, hey, they close at 5:30. They're like, hey, your parts just came in, so we probably won't get to it till Monday. So I'm like, okay, no car over the weekend, that's fine. Hopefully it'll be done by like Monday morning. That did not happen, and they called me Monday afternoon, and they're like, hey, we put in one, but we have a couple like sensors that were making it was making me not pass inspection, like vehicle exhaust inspection. So I was like, okay, because the plan was to turn my car to take maybe a couple days, and then I'd have a day to go ahead and go to the DMV. Like I didn't have anything, I was like, oh sure, let's go to the DMV, like get it all signed off and do everything I need to do.
Right.
So that was a plan in my head. I was like, oh, it would be beautiful, but it's never like that.
Nope.
So I wanted to say, like, how long is it gonna take? I wanted to pull like a total Larry David. So is it really taking you guys this long?
Mm-hmm.
Really? That many days?
Really?
But to be fair, there's no way I would have done it myself. So I replaced the
Well,
battery myself. And I told them that. They're like, yeah, someone was going on with your battery. I'm like, oh, it's probably because I replaced it myself without doing anything like related to the computer at all. And so they're like, well, we're going to reset your computer. Hopefully it doesn't trip it anymore. And I guess it wasn't tripping it. And he called me today, and he's like, yep, everything's ready to go. He passed inspection. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. They're like, all right, yeah, perfect. Sounds good. Thank you. I'll try to be in the night. But,
shit happens.
yeah.
Can't plan it out.
Yep.
Couldn't
So-
plan it to be done earlier. Can't do any
Nope.
of that.
So just, man,
Yeah.
getting your car fixed to get just a sticker on your license plate
Mm.
is like grinds my gears. That would be the one libertarian like / Republican thing I'd be like aligned with. It'd be getting rid of like that type of thing. I get it because it's also environmental protection too, because it's like
Right.
making sure you're not spewing CO2 into the atmosphere like
Mhm.
fucking outrageously.
Right.
Like how VW kind of like skirted that for so many years by saying, oh, we're diesel, or we have diesel engines, but it's so good, they run so good, we don't have that many emissions. And they're like, actually,
I think I knew about that.
Yeah,
I don't know if I.
that was so I'm not sure if that was the onus or that was the reason why that they put the stickers on, but I just started to take notice of how many people have expired license plate in general, and then also how many other states don't have stickers at all. So I was like, oh, why do these other states not have it? Because I'm sure there's other regulations that are like further up the distribution chain where it's like, oh, these cars are manufactured differently for this area, or like they have different regulations there, so they don't have to do this and this and that and this and this.
Right.
But here it's like, oh, you can buy whatever car, whatever you want, but it still has to pass inspection. So
Yeah.
and inspection is like plugging this little device in and it says, yep, good, or nope, not good. But like essentially that's what it is.
Right.
So, and it's $80 to do it every time.
No, that's the real.
And that's the part that is a real pisser. And then you also on top of that have to pay $35 or $55 based on how many years you want to do until how many years you want to do it again. Because it's like basically for the stickers.
Oh, you can
buy 1 year renewal or 2 year renewal.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know
so
that.
I'm definitely gonna get the fucking 2 year renewal because
don't need to do that
I
again.
don't need to do it again anytime soon. Please,
Yeah.
This has been such a process, and all I want to do is get the stickers on my license plate.
This might be a bit of my privilege speaking, so apologies, name drop. But I have yet to go through that. I've been very lucky that my parents will just be like,
give us your
just
car
out of nowhere, I'll be
car.
like, yeah, we need to go take your car, and I'm like, oh, okay. But then like I know that's gonna fuck me over later because I'm gonna be like,
how do I do this?
Yeah,
and that's what my dad's doing. It's the same thing with the battery thing. That I felt marooned, where I was like marooned on a cliff. I was just like, fuck, what do I do now? So it's like that, where it's like you gotta do it. So
no, exactly.
License, and one way I'm glad, and the other way I'm kind of jealous. So
yeah, I don't know. I feel like in the long run it's gonna.
California is completely different, so you'll have fun there.
Yeah, smog test and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That was
you
the
put
one
on
thing,
a gas mask, and you put on a gas mask, right?
Of course.
And then they just step on the gas with your face right in front of it.
Yeah.
And then if you pass out, then your car doesn't.
Right.
Your car doesn't pass the smog test, but if you don't, then it passes.
Of course. And it's weird that they make me put a GIMP suit on, but I did ask for it.
And they connect a tube to it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was like the Jordan Peterson Chinese.
The Chinese
sperm
dick sucking factory.
Dick sucking factory. It's just like that.
It's just like that.
It was at a Jiffy Lube.
Yeah.
There was a guy named Al doing it for me. Anyways,
Put on a ball gag and chain and everything.
It was great. I asked for it though. I was gonna make a connection and say it's funny that we're having similar, weeks. I don't mean weeks as in like from Monday
you have school?
Sunday to now, but like just like in the past like week or so, we've had like similar.
But I will say I did sleep during spring break. I slept probably for like 14 hours a day. Like I'd wake up, I'd go to bed at like 4 a.m., sleep till 6 p.m. So
there you go.
Or even some days I'd stay up till 9 a.m. or 10 a.m.
So what are you complaining about?
No, that's what I mean is that like I didn't have as busy of a spring. That was my main stressor was the car. Right. So like, but other than that, I didn't do shit.
But now
that I'm back in the real world, I have all this other shit to worry about. So.
And that's where I'm making the connection because though we are doing completely different things, we're having similar weeks in the sense that like
the government's fucking us, dude.
We have unnecessary shit going on that's colliding with the shit we want to do. And it's like causing so many issues. So we're going to be negative Nancy's today.
Little spring cleaning episode.
Just a little bit. Because I don't know about you, but I'm getting fucked in the ass. So if you don't mind, again, apologies for being both negative Nancy's today, but we're going to keep it light. Obviously, we'll keep it light. I'm in a better headspace than if you had asked me about this stuff a couple of days ago, I would have probably said
you were still playing. It was crazy to me that you were playing stuff out like months in advance. Like,
what do you mean?
Like you had sent messages like a couple times, and I'm like,
just to get it out of my brain.
Yeah, and I was like, I thought you were busy right now. I'm like, he's got all this stuff to worry about.
If that shit pops in my head, like I was just like, I might as well just get it out now.
Yeah, that's true.
And like I don't
so
know.
What's going
I don't
on?
know why I do that. Like I don't.
No, I mean I appreciate it because it's just I'm afraid I'll forget.
Right, but then it's just like I don't. It's just like focus on the shit you need to. Why are you like even thinking about that stuff?
So what's going on, Carson?
So
break it down.
To start from. It's well, I mean, it's a lot of stuff, but it's just two main things I wanted to bring up. First of all, real quick, had to get that out. Second of all, on, I don't remember what day, Wednesday night, I was going to bed and real late. Like I had a chill day. I didn't have to do as much as I was expecting. And so whenever that happens, I usually do not get stuff done in the timely manner that I should. And so I ended up like getting done with everything at like 3 a.m., which was stupid, but whatever. I was chilling and I
Fucking
felt
idiot.
Yeah, right. I felt good, and so I was like, whatever. Like, you know, just it's fine. I'll go to bed late. It's okay. Like, I'm not like, it's not like I'm doing a bunch of shit until 3 a.m. It was like a few things that were just like taking longer than they needed to. So then, I'm cooling out. I'm doing good. It's just like an hour, like, you know, at like 3 a.m. I get into bed, turn on Seinfeld. It's gonna take him a minute, but I'll wait.
No, that's the cartoon sounds right here. Okay, there it is.
And then the Kramer and Chandler and Rachel come on the screen. No. And then so I'm just chilling watching that. And then I start falling asleep because obviously it's like 3:30 in the morning at that point, and that's later than I'd like to go to bed, but I kind of typical. So I start falling asleep, I turn off the TV, I roll over onto my stomach, and then I'm just laying there for not even a minute, and then this just like this wave of dread hits me.
Yeah, there it is. The gay.
And then I'm like, oh shit, I'm having a panic attack right now. Or at least what I think is a panic attack, because this is the same thing. If you're a longtime fan, a couple of years ago, I had this weird freak thing happen where I woke up and then I was like, I can't breathe all of a sudden. Why can't I not breathe? I feels like I can't breathe. I could breathe. And then just like this like dread and these weird thoughts going in my head, and then I get up and then I just start like shaking like the fake vaccine videos. Literally almost
The real ones.
The real ones. I was a living real one. It was funny because they even asked me at the ER if I had the vaccine.
COVID vaccine, yeah.
And I was like, yeah. I was like,
What does that have to do with anything?
They were like, oh, okay. I was like, what? Anyways, and then I went to the ER, and then they were like, we think you just had a panic attack, and that seems
It'll go
to be,
away.
Right. It'll go. Panic attacks just go away.
Will never happen again.
Right. And so, yeah. So then that happened.
That was in the past. So
Been
this time,
almost. It's been over a year and a half now, and then that was the first time it's happened again since. And it was like they both made sense where they're both during times of stress that they happen. So that's why I'm like, probably panic attack is most likely. But it's just like, you know, it's just the worst thing ever, because it's just like you can't stop it. You
dread,
cannot stop it from
everything
happening.
Sucks.
And like, I didn't call anybody. I was like, I'm gonna just try and fight through this.
I think you should call someone at 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
I mean, I almost did, but I was just like, luckily I was able to talk my brain out of being like, what are they gonna do?
You gaslit yourself.
I did. I was like, you're fucking crazy.
You're crazy. They're gonna think you're fucking crazy.
You're fucking.
I bet
crazy.
you think I'm fucking crazy.
I looked in the mirror. I said, you think you're crazy? I was like, I do.
Yes, that's me.
So I was luckily able to chill out, and I really owe it to Seinfeld for helping me chill out, because
you started laughing like,
yeah. I was like, you're fucking crazy. And then Jerry started talking to me.
Yeah. Then they jumped out of the TV and started choking me.
It was crazy.
And you saw a joke and you're like, that's so funny. Oh, I love it.
And it turned out that I accidentally took a couple tabs of acid, and that's what was actually happening.
Oh.
But no, I like turned on Seinfeld and then just turned it down real quiet, because all I needed to do is just to get my brain off of everything that I felt was going on. And so all I had to do was just turn on Seinfeld, and I just focused
almost
on
like
that.
the opposite of grounding.
Right. I was just like, let me get out of here.
I want to get the fuck out of here.
Because that was whenever Gavin and I were talking about this on Thursday when we saw Scream 6 name drop.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, you know, like ground yourself. And I was like, it's actually weird because like I have out of body experiences quite often. I do. It's a problem, but it's not. It's been a lot better recently. But like whenever I was having that panic attack, I was telling him I felt like I was too much being there.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was way too
present.
Because I was like hearing noises and thinking about that. The weird thoughts weren't as bad this time, but it was just like I was overthinking about my breathing. And then of course the same thing happened. I got up to go pee, and then I'm just like shaking like crazy.
It's because you had to pee.
It's because I had to pee. And then I peed, and it was still happening, so I peed again. Turns out you store a lot of pee.
I just got peeing.
You can pee like multiple times, right? Just like keep
I just
going
cut it
and
off.
going. Yeah. Well, yeah, I stopped.
I just hold it.
Well, yeah, I got to store it up for later. Come on, dude. This is all normal stuff.
Your balls shrink while you do it too.
Yeah,
right?
of
Because
course.
it's stored there.
Well, yeah, they go up,
Yeah.
and they sometimes don't come back for a couple days. They're gone. I think they're taking.
I can hold pee for days. I'm like a camel.
Yeah, I'm like I
get a
have
hump.
Yeah, I get a hump in my back, and it hurts really bad. And sometimes there's like soot and black stuff
Yeah.
that comes out of my
Yeah,
piss.
that's
But
all cool.
doctor said it was fine. He's colorblind. though.
Doctor said I'm a camel.
He said I'm a camel, and so that's what
Here
I
I
found
am.
out. So that should happen, and it was like a day of like what I would consider to be a panic attack hangover, where for like the
Yeah.
next day I just like did not feel good and felt like panicky.
Fucking sucks.
Fucking sucked, and like
And
I
it didn't help
fucking
that
sucked.
Thursday I woke up at like 6:00 and it was already a dreary day. Well, already a dreary day.
You're right.
Like it was gray and terrible. It was a
Mhm.
shitty day. It was raining all day.
And then we had to go see
And we
Scream 6.
had to go Scream 6, and that did not help.
Actually, that did help me. Like,
Well, it didn't
I
help
felt
me.
a
I
lot-
was like,
right.
wow, this sucked.
oh yeah, no, it sucked, but I was like, oh, okay, I actually feel good now. Because before I was just like panicky all day. And
All
then
we
I was
have to
like, oh.
watch is some guy get his eyeball stabbed out.
Yeah, just watch some terrible movie,
Yeah.
and then you'll feel better. So yeah, that happened, and it was just like, it was just like great,
It passed.
It's like,
It
yeah,
passed.
it had passed, but it's just like I have this stressful week, and then I have like the worst possible thing that could
Yeah.
happen to add on top of it. But turns out it wasn't the worst possible thing that could happen, because the worst possible thing happened over the weekend. So, as you all probably know, Jerry Seinfeld died. No, that's the worst possible thing
Yeah.
that could happen.
What, Jerry? Jerry, I died.
I died. I died, Jerry.
He's in the mirror.
Me. You're crazy. You must think I'm fucking crazy.
Jerry, you're crazy. What are you doing?
What are you doing? I have a panic attack.
You like
at 4
jazz?
a.m.
God.
So as you all
So what
know,
happened on the weekend?
Well, it's tax season, Gavin. If you couldn't tell,
Bwah.
the leaves are turning. It's tax season once again.
The leaves, you know how they always say money doesn't grow on trees? I beg to differ, because whenever it's tax season, those leaves start growing.
Well, they start taking your money. It's
Yeah.
crazy. They don't give money, and then it's weird because you'll see IRS agents just start like sprouting out of the ground too, usually, and it's like watching a rebirth happen, and they're like, but yet they're like 35, 40,
Yeah.
50 whenever they come out of the ground.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So it's tax season, and I've probably talked about this before, but I am self-employed, humble brag.
He's a freelance artist.
I'm kind of a freelancer. And so I throughout the course of last year, I started
You threw out your W-2.
I threw it out. I said, I don't need this. Threw out all my 1099s, burned
Yeah.
them. Throughout the course of last year, I significantly winded down my vintage business, and I have been. I'm still doing it, but it's not the main focus anymore. So luckily, it was a lot of 1099s this year to turn in, but I still had to do some work of like figuring out expenses for other stuff, and then I had to so I do all of my taxes in that sense. But then I send it off to a accountant. I almost said auctioneer for some reason, and they auction my money off.
They auction it off for people to take it. They're like, who wants this guy's money?
So-
Sold. $6.99.
$6.99.
The guy green.
I
I also just realized I have my flannel still on.
Oh God!
I watch this.
He's wearing the same flannel every week, guys.
Still long sleeves.
Oh shit!
I'm wearing my long underwear outfit.
I wish you would just be like, oh shit, I forgot to take my pants off, and then you have the same green colored pants on. There you go.
This would make it look like I have.
He's going right to bed. Everybody can see you on camera for sure.
No, I know. Okay.
You gotta show everybody. Show everybody what you're working with. Come on, show it off. There you go. Grandpa's here. Yeah, I get a hunchback.
Tucked in my shirt. Tucked in my shirt to my pants. Now I look like a grandpa.
There you go. Grandpa. Oh, kitties. I remember the War of 1812. Oh, I've had it up to here. I've had it up to right here, where me britches are.
That's a SNL skit. Sorry, SNL. I ripped your skit.
Dang it, dude.
It's a Clint Eastwood commercial.
Love Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. Anyway,
So
keep going,
I
keep
sent
going.
it off to an accountant, and she did it, and
An offshore accountant.
it was an offshore accountant. And Sunday morning, wake up bright and early, go through my emails in bed as I usually do.
Perhaps maybe this is where your panic attack sets in.
Could have been,
But
well,
I mean, like, where
the
that
first one.
that I mean, like, that's perhaps might not help your your panic attacks? So, like doing anything in bed.
That's where I get most of my work done. I was kidding.
I get most of my work done in bed.
That is that is like I think maybe even a Tim Heidecker quote, because he does a lot of his work in bed. He's talked about
Well,
it.
I think Brandon Batchelor said something like that too. Like,
Oh,
says
really?
he was scrolling a laptop or no,
maybe edits photos
Yeah.
in bed or something.
Maybe
I'll have to ask him.
I'll have to ask him.
He might be
I'll
coming
text
on soon. So
anyway.
I open my email, and I won't say specific numbers. But the email was like, "Hey Carson, I got some good news and bad news for you.
Good news, taxes are done.
The good news is you made significantly more last year, or this year, as she said it, than the year before. Bad news is you owe, I'll say it's in the thousands of dollars to the IRS, because all of my work, like I said, is freelance stuff.
So they're like,
So
okay,
the IRS, like, or the businesses do not
report.
report. They give me 1099s for me to report, but
Yeah.
they don't report directly, so they're not taking money out of my paycheck to go to the IRS, which is like
Right.
what you do, and like what
Yeah, they do it for me
right,
in a way.
which is nice because you never see the money they take.
Yeah,
from you.
I'm almost
You don't
guaranteed
know you're getting gypped.
I'm getting money later. Like after I do my taxes, I get money. I have to do I get money
Sometimes.
because they take more sometimes than
Right.
what is needed.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So they're
sometimes.
saying, hey, you never gave us your Social Security, your this, your that, right?
No. Wait, what do you what I'll explain. Maybe it'll make more
Okay.
sense. So like what I do is I pay my taxes quarterly. So I have 3 payments throughout the year, technically 4. So I have one that's due whenever my taxes are due in April, June, September, and then beginning of next year. So those are my quarterly payments that I do. So since they don't take any money, I have to pay those quarterly, which is like the, however much percent, I can't remember off the top of my head, that they would take out of like your paychecks and stuff. And like if you have a normal job, that's how
Like
they do
I'm
it.
thinking like FICA, Medicare, Medicaid, like they take out stuff like for your benefits like later in life, or like like taxes just in general. They take out taxes.
Yeah,
like,
but
in
then
general.
the IRS takes
More.
money. Yeah, because like maybe where you work takes money to put into like benefits.
Yeah, they
but,
put it.
like,
Yeah, they put it in like benefits and like.
But they
retirement
also
fund.
they also pay taxes to the IRS with your
Right.
like
Okay, yeah.
because so you never
There's like state
You-
taxes, federal taxes.
yeah.
Yeah.
You never see
No,
what they
no.
take. They probably
they
spell
report
it out.
they report what they took out
Right.
each paycheck, but
but like
they take
for-
it out of each paycheck.
Yeah, for me, since mine is all like I either am marking down what I've been paid, or I get 1099s, I have to send all of that stuff in, and then my accountant tells me this is what you need to pay the IRS quarterly,
Mhm.
and it's like by these due dates. But because I made more last year than I did the year before, I was only paying like a couple $100
Right.
quarterly.
Because
Which I
it's based
should have
off
been-
of your previous year,
Right.
right? So it's
Yeah.
okay.
And because I made significantly more, and first of all, I should have said this to begin with, I don't know shit about taxes. I'm starting to learn. So like, I did not know anything. Like it's completely fucked me
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I
Because
would
now
say,
she's
yeah.
like, you owe it literally thousands of dollars to the IRS because
Yeah.
I was not paying enough last year.
Yeah.
I wasn't penalized because
Which is a good thing.
Right, you get penalized if you've made a
Miss.
payment over $1,000. So
Or
now
miss.
after this year, if I am not paying what I need to be, because now I'm going to literally need to calculate every quarter.
Yeah.
I will get.
So
penalized.
you owe that thousands over the course of a year or every quarter?
So I owe those thousands on tax day,
Right. Okay.
or I can request to pay it off with interest throughout like a 6-month payment plan.
Okay.
Now that is not my quarterly payments for the year.
Okay.
That is what I owe them from
From
last year.
Yeah.
And the even worse news, well, it's not even worse because that was the biggest chunk of money.
Uh-huh.
But now quarterly, I'm having to pay
More.
Yeah, a lot more. Like quarterly, it's like it's a little bit over $1,000 each quarter.
Yeah.
And so my first quarter, I owe that a couple $1,000s, and then another $1,500. It's around $1,500. in that first quarter. And to be frank, and I won't get into details of everything, but I don't have that money.
Yeah, I don't think anybody
I
does.
haven't had that money in my bank account
Ever.
in like 2 years. And like I like until recently it's been like, and not for any reason, it's just like I saved up my money and
Yeah.
then I didn't work enough to add more to it. And
Right.
so like now I'm in the I was at the point where I was like just getting enough each month to pay expense or like my bills and then food and
Yeah.
everything like that. And it was like I'd have a little
I'd
bit
say
left
that
over.
most Americans are on that same level.
Right. But now I'm having to pay quarterly more than my rent is. Oh, and then I also owe a couple $100s to the state because I wasn't paying anything to the state last year.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I owe like $100 each quarter to the state. So
That
it's
makes
just
sense.
like money that I do not have.
Right.
And
Doesn't
I just
exist.
like, I saw that and I just like broke down
Yeah.
because I was like,
Fuck.
I was like, what the I mean, like, because I mean, thankfully my parents are in a good place where I was like, okay, they can probably help me out. But like, I don't want to fuck it. Like, this is not like, hey, can
it's
I
not
borrow
their
$100?
problem. Yeah, it's not their problem.
Right. I don't want to make it their problem either.
Yeah.
But also it's like, I am 22. It's like,
It's a learning
And-
experience.
right. And that was the thing is like, you know, I had that moment and then I went to my parents and I'll just be honest, I like bawled my eyes out to them because
Yeah.
I was like, this is so fucked up.
Yeah.
I was like, what do they think I'm supposed to do? I do not have this money.
Right.
And it's like, I was literally like, thank fucking Christ I am ending my lease here in May because I would be completely fucked.
Yeah.
I was like, thank God I made that decision. And it's going to delay me moving to California, maybe. But it's just like, this is fucking insane. Like, I was just like,
we'll probably owe more in taxes in California. to be
true.
frank.
Oh, yeah. And which is like, you know, it's just like things that I was not thinking about.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about it last year. I wasn't thinking about it till I whenever I sent my taxes off to her, I wasn't even thinking about having to owe anything. Nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
and
I
it
just
would
wasn't
be like a
thinking
past
about
year.
it.
You know, it would be like
Right.
the past years of doing taxes.
Because I've paid taxes the past whatever, like 3 years.
Yeah.
Like my third or fourth year paying taxes.
Yeah.
And that's because I'm 22 years old.
Right.
But yeah, it was just like, and so long story short, I again, I won't get into super details of it, but my parents are thankfully helping me out with it and will lessen the blow by a shit ton. But you know, it's going to suck having to pay
Yeah.
over what I was paying in rent.
Yeah.
Like almost double my rent
Yeah.
each quarter to state and federal. And it's just like, I'm going to need to save up so much money to live on my own again.
Yeah.
And then to also move to California where, like you said, taxes may or may not be higher.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is so like, and another thing I should have,
it does just seem unfair.
well, and that's the thing is
And
like,
it's like
I
the
wanna,
benefit of working with a company is not having to do that. in a
well,
way.
you just don't see it.
Yeah,
Like,
you
you're getting
literally-
the same money.
yeah.
Like,
No,
if you
that's
and
what I
were
mean.
yeah, exactly.
It's
You
like,
just
like
don't
you
see it.
just aren't seeing it's not your problem per
Right.
se.
And I'm not, and I should have prefaced this earlier, but taxes are a good thing. I think they
Yeah.
are a good thing. But when I'm not so mad about the taxes, but now I'm like pissed about like rent, and I'm pissed about like bill payments being
Right.
so high because it's like, how do I? Like, I can't make, like, I was like, well, I need to make more. And it's like, well, then I'm going to get taxed on that. It's just
Yeah.
like this, like, I just like had this moment of realization. Like, and I always thought this, but I didn't truly wrap my head around it until this weekend where I was like, oh, I'm just going to be stuck in a constant circle of being fucked because I will not ever be able to see my money
Yeah.
because I'm going to keep getting taxed on it and trying to figure out how to scrape by with rent. And that's just going to be this constant circle of being fucked. And again,
And
taxes are good, but it's just like, I don't know. It's so crazy to
It
me.
adds another thing to factor into like monthly,
Right.
monthly finances in general.
Yeah,
Like
because now
it's yeah.
I was already not able to like buy like, you know, a frivolous purchase, you know, in the past like few months until I bought those fucking Adidas shoes for $100. Like that was the first frivolous purchase I was able to get. And it's
Right.
like, and that's the crazy thing too, is like, I'm now making enough where I'm able to start saving.
Mm.
But it's like, which means that I definitely have to pay more quarterly this year. I'm gonna have to pay probably a couple $1,000 each month to keep up. But it's like, how I was not making that much last year.
Right.
And they're taking like
more than that.
Way more.
Right.
Like it's insane. Like they're taking like, well, it is. It's like a quarter of what, because think they take 25%. So they're taking a quarter of what I made. And it's just like how are you expected to live in this country with everything? It was just like, this is fucking insane. And
that's
like,
why a lot of people have 2 jobs.
Right. But then it's like, you're getting taxed on everything. It's just like, I don't even understand. Like, I don't even want to get more jobs. Like, I don't even want to work anymore. I just want to stay where I'm at so I don't have to pay anymore.
Right.
And it's like, obviously that math doesn't work out. If you do make certain more in the same tax bracket, you do start being able to see more of that.
Yeah.
It does work out in the end, but it's just like, it feels like this cycle is never going to end.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
you got put into a different tax bracket, it sounds like.
Yeah. And I had like and I don't truly feel this, but like I sat there and I was just like, what the fuck is the point of living? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't truly think that.
Yeah, but it's like, it's like
what the fuck is the
goal?
point? Yeah. I'm working my ass off to get a quarter of it taken away every year.
Mm.
And then on top of that, like paying for this and paying for where I live and paying for other things that I need. And then it's like, well, then I haven't even gotten into the life of worrying about health insurance and life insurance and shit like that.
Right.
Because thankfully I'm still claimed by my parents and probably will be until
you're 25 at least.
Right. Until at least then.
Well, I think you're
26.
You can get 20 yeah, 26.
Yeah, is the last year you can claim it. But
yeah.
It's just it's so I just, I mean, like, I'm sure this, like, and it was because when I said this all to my parents, they're like, yep, this is just how it is.
Yep.
And it's just like, I'm happy to realize it now, but it's like, holy fuck, I don't want to.
I'm
be
not
doing
even kidding.
This.
That would make me start an Excel sheet that I just keep adding to.
Yeah, and I mean, so that's the thing is like what I've been doing, and I won't technically do this in the same way again. But like what I would do is like
it's a learning experience. I mean, seriously,
no,
it is,
right?
Because
that's what
I
you need to
remember
do.
one of my friends in high school talking about how they owed money to the IRS because they forgot they didn't think they had to report something.
Right.
Because it was like, oh, I didn't think I had to report that.
Right.
So it's just
and so what I would do is like break it all down right before I needed to send in my like literally what I did like 2 weeks ago. I sat down one day for a couple hours and just broke everything down and sent it off. Whereas now literally what I'm going to do is like every quarter just like start putting in things and start like adding in other expenses that I wasn't thinking about, that I won't think about a year later.
Yeah.
And I need to think about them now because I'll forget about them.
Because I know you can put like healthcare costs and stuff like that on there.
Yeah, or like gas mileage and yada. I mean, there's like a million different things you can put on there and stuff. But yeah, and I'm saying all this not and maybe
and
to
also
some
it might have been
people-
also because I don't think you had an LLC. You didn't? Did you have an LLC?
No, because I mean
Yeah.
But stuff
but like the vintage, you could write things off as like expense, like not not totally write them off, but you had expenses with your business because you had to buy the product.
Yeah.
So,
but like I said, it was
since you were toning that down,
so like years
there were
before,
less expenses.
Right, exactly, a lot less.
Yeah.
And I say all this because again, like I'm sure there's people who are. I know we have fans or listeners that are older than us that are again like not in their
probably
head,
like yep.
They're like, yeah, this is just how it works. But like,
or there might be like,
I
yeah,
didn't
you're
know
getting totally
this,
fucked. But
and I want people to know who haven't been through it that this happens and this is life and this is just the way.
And I bet Skinner could really
transparent.
talk a lot about that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Honest, I mean, in all honesty, you should ask Skinner about like what it's like living in California as a freelance.
No, I should. That would be interesting because I mean, like, he
just to get like a good scope and what it would be like if you're still doing what you're doing.
Right, because I mean, he literally came from the gutter.
Yeah, because he said he fell asleep
right down by the river. Yeah. And that's what I mean, literally down by the gutter. Yeah. He was born in the gutter. No, but really, that's
I'm serious.
Yeah, because I mean, born and raised there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit different when you're born there because you're just used to being fucked.
That's California, baby.
That's California. You get fucked everywhere.
Now it's raining. You can't get it. We
Damn
couldn't get
liberals.
enough. We couldn't get enough before. Now we're getting too
I
much.
gotta get enough of it. But yeah, so I just say all that to be like, this is my experience of what I'm going through and realizing it all now, and it sucks, and it's, I'm feeling a lot better now. Again, like, I think what made me cry to my parents about it is just that
you
I was
cried
like,
your parents back, man. I'm not gonna be
I'm gonna cry
No,
again.
I definitely would too. I haven't done
I
my
mean,
taxes
like-
yet. I have to do that soon. But
yeah, I mean, like, just like
no, I know. Yeah,
bawled my
yeah,
eyes
yeah.
out.
Absolutely.
And I think a main point of it is that
I'm a
like-
corporate fucking shill, baby.
right? Exactly.
I'm the opposite. I'm on the other spectrum of you.
You got the IRS paying you.
It actually has been kind of like that for the past couple of years. But,
The main thing that made me cry the most is just being like,
well, what do I do now?
I don't no just being like because like long story short of it is that like if this wasn't obvious already, my parents have money set away that they're going to pay all of that off for me. Like but what I mean all of it off is like what I owe plus this first quarter. And then like they're going to get taxed on that money they're taking out, so what I'm paying them back for, because they said what the money is like it was like tuition that my great grandmother like put away
Right.
that obviously I never used. And
What
so
the
they're
fuck,
like,
dude?
They're like, it is your money, but like, and so they're taking that out, and so I'm gonna pay them back for what they'll get taxed on for taking it out.
Right.
'Cause it's like a certain
Yeah, retirement. It's probably a retirement fund. Also,
it's
it could be
it's
part of
like
it.
that where it's
Yeah.
like you don't
You're
get
not
taxed
supposed
on it
to.
until you take it out.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
Right. But it's
Not
like
supposed to
it's a
touch it.
certain like tuition thing.
Yeah.
But, so they are covering it, which is just like, and what I cried about mostly is just like
You want to do it by yourself.
well, no, well, of course, but like it was thinking about the fact that like I don't know what the fuck I would have done if I
Right.
didn't have parents that were smart and had been through this, because
Right.
my dad was an entrepreneur. He had started his own business, and that was a good thing too, is because like he had been through this, but he didn't have, he was much older. He didn't have parents that could help him out with it. He just had to get fucked by the IRS and eventually, over the course of a couple of years, pay it off and like have them hound him for money. And now this is like,
Years and years ago.
38 years ago.
Yeah.
But
Damn,
I was
dude,
just
your
like-
dad's fucking old.
He's old, dude.
Just kidding, I love Lou.
I was just like, I was just crying, just thinking about like, I don't know what the fuck I would have done. And just
Right.
like, thank God my parents were.
It was tears of happiness, really.
In a way, but it was just like, I mean, it was just a culmination of a bunch of stuff. But I was
Right,
just like,
right.
I don't know what the fuck I would have done without
Yeah, absolutely.
this. Like, I literally would have been fucked. I would have been like, I won't be able to pay this off in 6 month increments, because I'm already like, how the fuck am I going to pay my quarterly taxes? Because it's like an insane amount
Right.
that I don't have.
And
Yeah,
well, I
so-
saw a whole bunch of another reason why I'm kind of scared to do my taxes is because one of the reasons is because before I was getting a pretty substantial like refund from the IRS, but that was because like I've been like for lack of a better word, just like a literal corporate shill. I have only worked
Right.
for corporate companies.
Right. And like
So,
you said, they're taking
like,
out
they're
more.
probably taking
than
out
usual.
more because
Yeah.
I'm claimed, and like I'm young, and
Right.
I didn't have that many expenses, and it's
Mhm.
just like, okay, chill out. But I saw reports before this tax season that this tax season is going to surprise a lot of people because they're not going to get as big of a refund, because COVID relief is
Yep.
ending, all this other stuff is ending, so it's like, all right, guys, back to basically like,
Back
all
to
right,
normal.
back to normal.
Even though,
And I literally, and I'm not even kidding, at the drop of a hat.
yeah. Well, and even though the thing is that the IRS is crooked and fucked up, and they don't have their shit together, but
Yeah.
yet they expect us to be together.
Yeah.
Which
And they
is-
know how much
which
money
is
you
the thing
made.
that's pissed off. Yeah, they know, but then they're like,
They're like, all right, how much did you make? They're like,
right.
how much did you make?
How much did you make?
Yeah.
And then we'll make sure, and then we'll fuck you over, but then
If-
we won't tell you until it's
It's
too
too-
late to
yeah.
do anything about it.
Yeah.
Or like what happened with my brother. It took them a full year to send him
realize.
his refund.
Oh,
No, to
okay.
send him his refund. They just like didn't get around to it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
And he said that they paid him, which this surprised me. They did pay him interest on it because they,
Fucked up.
because they fucked up. But it's like, still, it's like,
That's not fair.
Get your
You know what
shit
I mean?
together if you
Yeah.
think we need to have our shit together.
Right.
But I don't know. Again, I think taxes are a good thing, but it's just like There obviously it doesn't feel like there's something right
It
going on.
feels, it also just feels like overburden. You
Right.
know, like way too much all at once.
Yeah.
And especially, you know, I'm what like that's also one shout out to your accountant because I'm sure she probably let you down pretty easy on it, but it was like
Yeah.
like it wasn't like an email from the IRS saying, you know, you owe this, pay it now or end your life.
Right. Literally.
Or pay the price. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you know, like you're gonna get taxed and feathered, you know.
Well,
Tarred
yeah,
feathered.
I mean, thank God just for accountants in general for figuring that shit out. Because like literally, like I will just be honest, I don't know what she does. I just like I send her what she needs.
No, but I mean,
and
like
then
that's
I'm like,
I feel like that there is like I explained this to one of my friends once. Is that it's almost like ignorance is bliss because it's like
Yeah.
you don't want someone to know that much information, how much the
Right.
accountant knows about stuff.
right.
So and it's the same thing with like why pharmacists don't tell patients certain things,
Yeah.
you know, like all that type of stuff.
Right.
You know, it's like you don't want to you don't want to give that to
Right.
you don't want to give that away to someone. It's like a little secret.
So it's better
Tricks
you
of the
just don't
trade.
know what
Hey,
they do.
yeah, it's better if you just don't know what they do.
You just
Yeah.
get it back and you're like, well, okay.
Yeah,
And I mean, like obviously I do know what she
Yeah.
does, but it's just like I don't really think about it.
right.
Just
What
like
do you do?
I didn't think about how I made a lot more than this year, and that means I would owe a lot more. Like
Yeah.
I just wasn't in my. Now it's going to be in my head because the emotional trauma that I experienced
Right.
with getting that email will always keep me in the reminder of being ready for that. And again, just like I thank God I made the decision to move out
Yeah.
to save up. Now I'm saving up for a different purpose. But yeah, I
That
mean, I don't
blows.
know. It just it fucking blows. But again, so thankful for my parents who I will and have thanked a million times for helping me out. They're the best. And again, I feel for the people who aren't in that position because I did feel that for a second. You know, I know that probably
You're a
gonna
big
that's gonna sound like oh boo-hoo for
yeah.
you, but like I truly do feel empathy for all those people who aren't in that position.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's like I don't know what I
Yeah,
like
I mean,
if my
literally,
parent if I
and if
know,
you think about it, that's decades of
Yeah.
of worth
yeah,
that you technically, theoretically, could be thought of
right,
is that you've had that.
right.
You know what I mean? Like you've literally you said your great grandma, right?
My great grandma,
Yeah. Set that aside.
Yep.
Some people like also like they don't have that decades
No.
of worth.
No.
You know, to build up, to save up, to have that
right.
to help improve their next generations.
Yeah, I just I don't know what I would have done. I would have been just like I probably would have been paying the IRS
For
back
probably 5
for,
years.
Yeah, a couple of years,
Yeah.
and like it would have been like
at
having
max
student
5 years,
loans.
but yeah.
You know what I mean?
Theoretically, yeah. It could be thought of as not go this is what you get for not going to fucking school, dude.
Right, I got to pay off my taxes because that's literally what the money
Yeah,
is. And
yeah.
again, I'm just like, yeah. I mean, it's definitely making me think about, you know, the future, but then also future generations if I'm lucky enough to bestow child.
Yeah.
And thinking about that and just like, you know, having money saved for them and set aside, not only for schooling but also for
Yourself.
financial
And
things
for yourself.
and for myself. No, definitely.
And any financial hardship that may hit you or your family.
Right, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just like so much hit me all at once, and again, I'm like, obviously it sucks, but like I'm so thankful it happened now.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that I'm 22 years old and am in the position I am to be making this much money that
Right.
I have to pay the IRS this much money.
It's a good problem to have.
It is.
In a way.
In a way, it definitely is, and it's like, you know, it's hard to look on the bright side whenever you see this money that
Right.
that you don't have.
Yeah.
to pay.
And
that.
inevitably we'll lose.
Right. Yeah. So, anyways, that's my spiel.
That's I will say that I think I mentioned it a couple times
Yeah.
on Skinner's interview, or maybe once or even once before in a different episode, but like I think I mentioned that like after like I work like 40 plus hours a week,
Mhm.
and like after I would see that I made like probably $1,500 like
Yeah.
in 2 weeks,
right.
which is really nice. I mean, like, but then I'd only get $950 of it,
Right.
or like 1,100,
Yeah.
and it was like,
Yeah.
what the hell? I was like, like that's that feeling like
Mhm.
every paycheck for me, but like, but it's
Right.
automatically done for me,
Right.
and it's like they let me off easy because it is every 2 weeks they take out that much. If you
Mm.
think about it,
yeah. And yeah. So you are seeing it, just
Yeah.
not on.
it's not on such a
The
massive
scale.
fucking scale,
Right.
And I think I've seen it on my W-2.
For
my,
sure.
My
Yeah.
W. My W.
If you look at it, and you're like, oh, they're getting
Yeah.
how much of
yeah,
my money?
no, literally, no. I
But
mean,
it's like, the difference with that is like, until now, my thought process has been like, oh, I get this money coming in, I got to pay off bills and stuff like that, but like I get all the money. And then it's
Yeah.
like, oh wait,
Yeah.
I owe you guys how much?
yeah,
And that wasn't my money to begin with.
Right.
And like now I'm going to be thinking about it as like, okay, this money in my bank account, I need this much to save for
And I
taxes,
think,
and then I need this to pay this, and then like I'm going to be thinking about it in that
I've
way.
seen videos of like breaking down like how much, quote unquote, how much, like $100,000 would get you in blank state.
Right.
And this guy does all the calculations. So I imagine it would be like that every month.
Yeah. Right.
In a
Right.
way, you know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, I made this much this month. They take out this much for federal. They take this much out for state. They take out this
Mhm.
much for Social Security. They take out this. And so now I'm left with this. And then this I have to make stretch over this amount of time.
Right. And then the other thing it's making me think, well, I like every time I think of this, I'm like, what I was going to say is like, now it's making me think about how much my time is worth.
Yeah.
But then it's like, again, I get paid more, I owe more.
Right.
It's just a stupid cycle where it's like, I don't even want to ask for a raise from anybody, not naming specifics.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get taxed on it. Because
Right.
it's like, I get it. It's just like, it's such a stupid but simple thing to think about. And I haven't truly thought about it until now. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, so it's weird.
I think probably the worst I felt after an experience after like getting a paycheck is definitely whenever I worked as a host. I would get tips,
Right.
and those I guess technically weren't taxed. They were
Because it's
reported,
cash.
but it was
Oh,
cash.
it
it was
was
reported.
reported?
Because it was reported as like tips and it was like wages, and then it's like wages and tips. So
Okay.
it was like they reported the tips. So, but I think they took it out every month, but it was like took it out every 2 weeks from my paycheck or whatever. But it felt like I was getting fucked because I was literally like the amount of work I was doing did not feel like I probably wasn't getting paid compensation wise enough,
Right.
but like it was the stress on top of the amount of work I was doing. It felt like I wasn't making that much money. So like, and then I looked at the W-2s and I was like, oh, I see, I only made like $500 this year or something like that.
Right.
That was like, I didn't feel like I had, only made that much, but I'd only worked, 6 months a year or whatever. But it was, that was 18 years old,
Right. But still, I mean,
It's just, it's weird.
It's weird
It's
and it sucks.
it's an inevitability of life, like death and taxes. Death and taxes are two
they
inevitabilities.
go
of life.
hand in hand. Just like peanut butter and jellies.
So it's gonna be a exciting episode for
Yeah.
But I think that's part of the charm of our show is that
Right.
we're two young guys trying to figure life out together.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's why I brought it up, and that's
Yeah.
why it turned into a very interesting discussion. I
Yeah.
think because it's like
No, but I just want to explain. I
Oh,
just
yeah,
want to
no.
rationalize it for
right,
myself.
and that's why I'm no.
What a complete waste of time this was, Carson. Fuck you.
Well, let's talk about penises and stuff.
Oh my gosh, did you see?
Oh my god, guys!
Did you see the penis on Twitter?
Wow, the rain. It was really rainy outside earlier today.
The clouds. No.
Did you see the clouds? That's the normal podcast.
Yeah.
But that's life, man. That's life. Let's rationalize it more.
Speaking of life,
Speaking of life, how about this? We're gonna blast through everything real fast because we're already at an hour, and I know you got an early one tomorrow. So
I had an early one today.
an early one today.
No, I'm just kidding. I actually didn't have an early one. I woke up like 11.
But tomorrow you do. You said you
Yeah.
have 10 a.m.
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
I do have to pick up
It's
my car
still
early.
early.
Yeah.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about things for a couple more hours. No,
Got a couple more things to rattle off here in the next
got a
couple
couple
hours.
more things. I'll just touch on it really fast. Mischief released this thing called. It's a game.
Oh,
Called,
it was Mischief that did this?
yeah, called Tax Hero 3000. They
Oh, okay.
released
I
it
saw a
last week.
whole bunch of posts about this.
Oh,
And
you
they're like,
did?
they're like, don't give your money to this game.
Wait, why?
Or don't tell people your social security on this game.
Oh, well, duh.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I didn't know it was a Mischief thing. I thought it was
okay.
literally just like a game. Someone was like, do your taxes. You know,
Right.
like, oh, it'll make doing your taxes fun. And we're going to be scrubbing your data and selling it to, a third party or, I mean, it makes sense that Mischief did this, but I
Right.
did not know it was Mischief that did it.
Yeah, but it's like a way to do your taxes that also is like I keep wanting to say
This is actually-
hentai, but
this
it's like
looks
an
real-
anime thing.
Yeah, it's like it's a dating sim.
Yeah.
It's an
To
anime
do your
dating
taxes.
sim. It's your
That also
taxes.
does your taxes. And then there was
wow,
a thing
this
where
is-
you could
There's a collector's edition.
Yeah, it's sold out where you could get the
3
software box,
box?
which is funny, and then a body pillow
Wow.
of the
You know who
of
would have
the
really liked that?
dame. I do know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really funny, and it was funny because I think I saw that either I can't remember if it was before or after I did my taxes, and I was like, damn, I could have done that. I wouldn't have actually, but
that
like
I
it was
am
just
curious
funny.
about what they do with the data, but it is very funny.
I'm gonna maybe regret saying this later on whenever Mischief does something horrible, but I love Mischief.
Yeah.
Their stuff is so funny and great.
I mean, they released the red boots that a lot of people are pissed off at.
It was funny at first, and
Now it's like a statement, literally, like a
just
fashion
so
statement. Like everybody's trying to
stupid.
get some, but
That's why we didn't talk about it because it was just
like
like
everybody had them. They
Yeah,
clearly,
everybody talked about it.
they clearly gave it to people,
Mhm.
before it was, there. And
right. Yeah, I mean things like that. I just thank you. I get that like I just get so tired of,
Yeah.
and I'm just like
Oh,
I
and
don't wanna talk about it.
like even this guy interviewed the World Baseball Classic players, Team USA, and asked them like, what's your least favorite like fashion statement of
Right.
like all time or even today, and most of them said the red boots.
Of course.
So
It was
baseball player.
right out there for the open.
Yeah. So
Gavin, you're maybe going to be on the news.
yeah. So today we took, like I said, we took a graded examination today. Not like an exam, but it was a graded project. We had like a case, so we had to, stage on
Mhm.
patient and stuff like that. But like towards the end, we were kind of going over like the answers for it, and one of the experiential Office of Experiential
You'll get it. Take a second.
the Office of Experiential Education
That's a hard
came
word.
in, and she came in her white coat, and I saw out of the corner of my eye about halfway through the group discussion there was like a camera on a tripod, like a big like TV camera
Yeah.
on a tripod outside. So I figured, oh, maybe it's just like the school, like because they have like a school photographer. I figured maybe she was coming in to like shoot B-roll just for like promotional videos and stuff like
Right.
that. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw that, and I was like, nah, okay, whatever. I bet it's whatever. But then I saw like the professor who works for the Office of Experiential Education sitting down next to a random dude I've never seen before, and I was like, oh, maybe it's for the news or something. So I'm like, okay, I'm like, why is she here? Anyway, because like we only see them maybe twice a year, and it's like whenever like orientation, and then like whenever you're signing up for where you're gonna go over the summer.
And then whenever the news shows.
And then whenever the news shows up, evidently. And so she came in like right after we were done discussing everything and before we were about to take an actual like kind of little quiz, like a top drugs quiz. Because we take those. Because we're pharmacists, we need to make sure we know our drugs.
Of course.
Drug names and brand names mostly, but for the most part, and like indications. But she came in and was like, hey guys, KTVI is going to be shooting some B-roll for you. So if you notice, like, them walking around during your top drugs quiz, or maybe you noticed them before, but they're doing a piece on pharmacists tonight. That was what she said, and then she walked away. And I was like, okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then I was like, time to take my quiz.
So we still have not seen it
No.
if Gavin has been on the news. So if you saw Gavin, if you're listening,
I was I was
local-
joking it was going to be like News Channel 5, so I was joking like the 5 one for a long time. Because they would do that. They just go to random schools and be like,
Yeah.
put up your 5 and then put up a 1.
They came to our elementary
Yeah.
school.
And
Well, this is channel 4.
yeah. No, this was Channel 2.
Oh, channel 2.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I had the wrong station on. I had channel 4 on.
Oh, it was Channel 2.
I didn't realize that.
KTVI is Channel 2.
Oh.
I looked it up. I was like, KTVI, what's that?
That's Fox 2,
Yeah.
right? Okay. This is all local
Yeah,
stuff.
Fox
But
2.
all across the country they have Fox.
Oh, it
2,
was.
Fox 3,
I
or-
think I found it.
Uh-oh.
I'm serious.
Uh-oh. we got live.
Pharmacy store hours reduced due to shortage of workers was the story I think they were running. And
Okay.
is there a video somewhere in here? It's usually the top.
Yeah, it would usually be right off. the
SIUE
bat.
School of Pharmacy gave a statement, and my professor, Dr. Gaddis, gave a story too.
Name drop.
Well, her name is in this.
No, I know.
Let's. You know what? I'm gonna watch this now. Actually, let's
Let's
see.
watch it together. We'll have a little watch party.
So
See if we'll see
Yeah.
little Gavin. I'll put it up on screen if we see Gavin.
So that's my friend RJ. He's my lab partner actually.
Name drop.
Yeah, name drop. So there's our professor. I don't know what pharmacy this is. Maybe it's the one that she works at.
Do you want to turn sound on?
I'm right there. You can see my.
You can see the flannel.
I'm in the middle around here, right there. I'm behind her somewhere.
Keep seeing your behind.
Yeah, there.
Oh, yep, I see you.
Yep.
You'll have to send me this so I can put
red circle with an arrow.
Yeah, it just of your flannel
So
and
that's the
stuff.
story they ran.
Was that it? Maybe there's more.
No, I think that's
it's
about
super
it.
short.
Yeah.
Well, send me that. We'll put your arm, and then I'll do a really grainy zoom in on you. I'll just put that as the thumbnail, just the grainy zoom in on you. Well, it's cool. I'm glad we found it. We found it live on the
that
air.
was the first thing I pull up when I pull up my Google on
Nice.
KTVI. I just looked up that. So cool. I was on Fox
found
2.
it. And we saw it live. You got Gavin's live reaction to seeing his mug.
Texting
on the
this to my dad
news.
right now. So you're seeing this in the future. My dad will be here. Well,
Dude, Dad's gonna be so proud of you.
Yeah, he's gonna be so cool.
I think I've talked about this before, but I was almost on the news.
I'm putting you on the news.
Somebody, I'm not going to get into details, but somebody from the news wanted to interview me after a horrific accident happened to somebody that we knew, and they were in my
Yeah.
they were in my neighborhood, and they're like, "Did you know this person?" And I said, "Yeah." And they're like, "Would you mind doing a quick interview?" And I was like, I really don't think I'm the person that should be doing that.
I remember.
And
that.
then they hounded me, and they're like, "Are you sure?"
And you,
like, we
you went,
really-
you went no cameras, no paparazzi.
I mean, pretty much. I was like, "Nah." I was like walking to my car, and he was still like, "Are you sure? Just just a couple questions."
Quick couple. Yeah.
And I was like, "Nah. I really don't think I should." That was the weirdest experience of my life. That was so bizarre, and just like, I was like, thank God, like that I'm not somebody who is close to this person, because like, what a fucking dick thing to hound somebody about.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyways, I had to make it about myself.
God, dude.
Gavin, speaking of scary things, Scream 6. Ah! I mean, we saw it. It sucked. I mean, we could go into it more, but we're running long here, and it's, I don't know. Anything you'd like to say about it? Give me in a haiku.
Scream 6 wasn't very good. Was not good. Scream 6 was not good. A couple parts made me laugh. I can't recommend.
How does he even know what a haiku is?
575.
Right? That's a haiku. That's what they're doing. I just know the word. I don't remember what it is anymore. Yeah, it was. It was fun. I think the more interesting thing is not so much about the movie, which did suck. Coming from a horror fan, coming from a Scream fan, it was purposefully corny, purposefully bad, and I didn't like it. What I think is most interesting, though, is that you don't really see horror movies very often,
No.
and I was surprised you even went with me.
I was looking for, dude. I'm telling you, whenever you send me something, I was like, dude, finally something to do. I mean, I knew I had
Right.
I knew I had some stuff to do over the weekend, but I was like, whatever, I'll do that over the weekend.
Something to do.
Yeah, I was like, then even after the movie, you're like, so what'd you think? And I'm like, well, something to do.
Yeah, it was something. It happened. Yeah.
So it was not very good. A couple of times I verbally laughed out, out loud because I was like,
Right.
this is terrible. Like I just could not believe my eyes that this happened.
It was really bad. And that's the thing that sucked to me most is finally I get Gavin to go see a horror movie with me, and it's fucking this movie. And it's the stupidest horror movie ever. I mean, it wasn't though stupid. It wasn't.
It wasn't the stupidest ever, but it was a pretty stupid one.
It was pretty bad.
It was like an episode 2 of a trilogy.
Yeah.
It was like a second part
That's
of a
what it
trilogy.
was.
Yeah,
That's
and
really what it
it
was.
fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It sucked. It wasn't good.
Yeah, it was like Gavin said. There were there were funny moments to laugh at that weren't obviously supposed to be funny if we don't think. But my favorite moment is that there was a person who wasn't nicknamed this, but it sounded like they were giving him a nickname, and it was Date Rape Frankie.
Oh yeah.
So that was a nickname. Sorry to drop that R word. I should have said trigger warning, but yeah, man, it happened. Real life horror though. I mean, I can't laugh about it because 7 people did die, and I'm talking about the chocolate factory explosion because there were 7 people that died in something else. But it's so insane to see that a chocolate factory exploded. I mean, it's
I'm sorry,
insane.
That was just
Oh, it was terrible, but I'm glad I thought through that as I was saying it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw the video of it exploding, and I'm like,
Fucking huge.
I was like, what? I was literally like, this. In my head, I'm like, is this real?
Right.
Because you never know what's real and what's fake nowadays. But like
the
this one, I was like, no way. I was like,
Right.
no fucking way.
And then you're like, oh, it's a chocolate factory?
In
It's
Pennsylvania,
insane.
which is where Hershey
is, yeah.
yeah.
R.M. Knudsen or whatever. That's not it. It's R.M. something. And it's like, it's so hard to see that and I can't even like think seriously about it. And 7 people died.
Yeah.
But like, I can't look at it and be serious. It's so hard to be serious and look at it, which
Listen,
sounds terrible.
Maybe.
But like,
okay, here's the thing, Carson. I think I
talk
need.
me down.
Okay, so I think you need to watch the old Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory through a different lens.
You see, this is the thing. These are the things that go through my head, Gavin.
No, that's one
And
thing
you're
is that
adding
like
to it, your regular
I'm sorry,
works.
but like that's. I mean, like think about it. You know, like have you seen like those posts on like Facebook or like Tumblr or Twitter where it's like, think about how fucked up it is that Willy Wonka had these little these little people in his chocolate factory. He didn't even care that this little child got dipped into the chocolate.
Maybe this was them trying to liberate. We don't know.
Jesus,
other than that.
dude.
Maybe Augustus Gloop.
Veruca Salt.
Maybe Augustus
Veruca-
Gloop had too much.
Veruca. Shoot. What's
Veruca Salt's a band.
Yeah. Veruca. That's one of the children in the book.
OG?
Veruca.
Oh.
Veruca.
Actually, it turns out Augustus Gloop was filled with methane gas.
Augustus Gloop.
Gloop.
Yeah. Glooped.
Speaking of Gloop, Gwyneth Paltrow. No,
Yeah.
we're not going to talk about that. Yeah, I mean, it's fucking tragic, but I gotta get off of it because it's so death toll in Pennsylvania. Chocolate factory explosion sounds so insane.
And like
I'm
it was
t- I'm a-
it wasn't a small explosion either.
was
Like this was
huge.
fucking massive. Huge. The whole
Why did it
factory
have to be a
basically
chocolate factory?
like cartoonishly exploded into the air. Like it's
You're not helping me here, Gavin. God damn it!
it was
7
a
people
chocolate
died.
explosion.
7. My favorite Eddie Murphy record. I think that literally is, or maybe that was a stolen joke. Actually, I can't remember if that actually was or if that was a joke I heard somebody else say. I think it was. I think it is a joke that somebody else said. I gotta get off of it because I can't. It's not appropriate to laugh about it because 7 people died. But the headline, I'm laughing at the headline. Okay?
Yeah, I agree. The headline is very
It's just insane to think about a chocolate factory exploding.
yeah. It
That's where I got to leave it.
the blast just before 5 p.m. Friday, quote unquote, leveled the plant.
I mean, that's what explosions do. Like, that's
Richard
just
M.
not
Palmer
obvious.
Sr. founded the company in 1948 when he sold a handful of chocolates, including bunnies. R.M. Palmer Company employs 850 people today, according to its website.
I was trying to wait. Oh, which song was I trying to find?
Chocolate explosion.
While you were talking about the 1940s, I wanted to play this.
Oh, you're gonna play the ragtime, like.
Oh, I forgot. That's what I was thinking of. Oh, I do have that. Wait, where is that? Wait, do I have that?
Maple Leaf Waltz, or ragtime Maple Leaf Rag, or
Oh
something.
shit, I don't think I have it anymore. Anyways, we got to move on from it because if somebody hears me laughing about that, I'm gonna get in trouble. God damn it! And now I'm trying to get myself in a different headspace.
You brought this up.
I know because like You're right. I'm like, I feel like I'm self-sabotaging myself that we brought that up. I brought that up. But I just had to because it was just so insane. It is
horrible.
sad.
It's
but like
sad.
I can't. I just it's there.
Better working
There is
conditions.
irony in it, right?
For sure.
Okay.
I agree. Yes, there is irony in it.
So I'm not a terrible
very-
person.
I mean, it's like a fireworks factory explosion. Like, of course, you know what I mean? Like, of course, you know.
And that's the thing is like, we've watched people for years and years have watched insane shit happen, and laughed at it.
Oh yeah,
And then it's like, oh yeah, like 7 people died.
yeah,
There. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh. And I'm like, I don't watch the explosion and laugh at it.
yeah.
Like that's not funny. 7
Yeah.
people dying isn't funny.
Right.
It's just the fact that it's a chocolate factory.
It's okay, Carson. We'll make it through.
So, now to move on to an actual serious thing, and I kind of talked with
Actual
Gavin.
serious thing. There's 7 people died in this
Fuck,
chocolate.
you're right. Why did I even say that? I'm just making everything worse, dude. I can't. I'm saying so many things, not cancelable things, but just like questionable
You're like PC
things.
Principal over here.
I'm just going for it today, man. I don't know. After that tax stuff, I'm like, fuck everything. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about anything. No, I do.
He's a canceled celebrity.
Well, it was you the other week. Now it's me this week. Okay, we can swap off. And I apologize if anything I've said has offended anybody. I do apologize. I think I'm
He
good,
means
but
well.
I do. And seriously, if I did say anything, message me directly, and we can gladly talk about it. I talked with Gavin about this. I just wanted to be kind of brief on it because, not that we need to be brief on it, because it's something that needs to be obviously talked about, just like it does every single fucking time.
Yeah.
But I always think of with my favorite podcasts, I do listen to some political ones, some that talk about serious things, but like at the end of the day, they're funny, and like I like to listen to stuff to escape from the harsh reality of paying thousands of dollars to taxes and shootings and chocolate factory explosions. And that's kind of how I feel about our thing. Is like we talk about serious stuff, but we also talk about lighthearted things and make lighthearted things about it. But like, it's impossible to ignore terrible shit like this and not talk about it, because another school shooting happened, as they do literally every fucking week. And this one, you know, it's so sad that we have to like, and we don't have to, but we do. We rank them as like, well, this one was in the news.
It wasn't as bad. It wasn't as long.
Oh, one person died.
Yeah.
Oh, only 2 people died in that one. And it's crazy because like there has been school shootings, and there has been for years and years now.
There was one
that aren't talked about.
Close to like my school.
Right.
A couple months ago.
It was local. It made local news, and that was it.
Yeah, basically.
But it's like, oh, one person. You know, it's like it sucks on the news's part that they're only reporting on the big ones, quote unquote big ones. And then it sucks that the thing that sucks the most, of course, and sucks is a light way to put it, is that these keep fucking happening.
Yeah.
And
there's something to be said about both. There's something to be said about everything about this in general.
Of
just
course.
school shootings in general. Just a topic.
Absolutely. And we could get into gun control. We could go on and on about that. But
We could go into mental health even.
Right.
The opposite.
But I think the thing that needs to, I think is most important, especially with what's going on with what happened with this one, most important. See, again, I feel like even I'm trying to rank it now.
Well, I mean, like, there is something that sticks out for every single one of them, but this one particularly stands out recently in news due to the person's gender identity. And recently, we've already seen quite a few bills being passed in state legislatures, not federal legislature, but there are some that are being proposed. But there are things that are starting to get passed and go through legislation in state governments that seemingly target trans people.
Such as what happened in Tennessee.
Such as what happened in Tennessee, where they banned drag shows.
Which was a direct result of this
happening. Yeah, and the thing is that like they used in that bill, they used very like broad statements to describe someone, so that someone could theoretically, if you were wearing a dress, could theoretically be arrested or charged in Tennessee for wearing a dress and you look like a man. So there's those kinds of things. So there's something to be said, but according to NBC News, I pull up the article about it.
Yeah.
Audrey Hale's LinkedIn page, which indicates activity roughly a month ago and includes a job history updated 10 months ago, uses he, him pronouns. But people are either intentionally misgendering or purposely ignoring it or, But there's also people purposely misconstruing the entire trans community in general. There are people saying that 100% of Max, this is from the Quartering on Twitter, don't follow
good
this
guy.
person.
Great guy.
Yeah, great guy. Great history of great takes. Nothing bad going on there. He said that 100% of the mass shootings recently have happened due to trans people, which is the fucking craziest thing. Like, that is completely baseless.
Yeah.
Completely baseless. You're like 10 times more likely to be shot and killed by a heterosexual cis male.
The stats right here from Hassan Piker are over the past 5 years, 2,840 plus mass shootings have occurred in the U.S. 3 of those shooters have been trans. Guns are the number one killer of children, 1 to 8, and then there's another statistic we'll talk about in a second. But yeah,
there have been
3
100% trans shooters since 2018.
Yeah. And
there have been 2,826 cisgendered people, which means you are heterosexual and you align with you are a male or a female. You align with that, and you also align with what their sexuality would be. So if you're straight male, straight female.
Yeah. Now, an argument that has been brought up is that they're, not that this means literally fucking jack shit, but there are people that were like, well, no, there's 2 other trans people, but they were like using the trans thing as like leverage.
Or even using like the insanity plea.
Yeah.
Kind
so
of
they
thing
don't
to
even.
it. It doesn't. The insanity plea doesn't really exist, but like it was to show like, oh, these people are crazy,
Right.
Oh, see, look, they're transgender. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Right.
It seems like that's the way they try to perpetrate.
Yeah.
Or just perpetuate that stereotype that
Right.
that they're not right in the head or something's fucked up with them. But it is completely baseless. But this comes directly from the Gun Violence Archive, which is gunviolencearchive.org. So, publicly available data.
Right. And the statistic that Hassan also posted with that tweet was from the New York Times, which is leading causes of children ages 1 through 18, and the highest in now is mass shootings or being shot
like
by
19%.
Yep, 19%. It's
over 18%.
18%. Yep. So, and so the thing that the right is doing, of course, is deflecting the guns being the problem, and now we have this token trans person to put it in a derogatory way for this purpose, but because now we can use that as the new leverage, the new thing. It's like, well, because I literally saw tweets from no name fucking idiots, being like, if this doesn't show that we need to get rid of that, we need to, have stronger trans bills, then I don't know what does.
Yeah.
And it's like, you are a fucking lunatic that there's been 5 in the past or 3 in the past 5 years.
And then
out of
I think 4
almost
in the last 15.
Yeah. Out of almost 3,000 that have happened.
Yeah.
And it's because they're trans. Yeah. It's not because
this
of
is
guns.
what does it.
It's like the person.
It's not the gun. Not the person. It's the guns.
Yeah, it's insane.
And listen, it just even has to be like a red flag law,
right?
But then you get put in the it's a slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that gonna go?
Right.
It's just so sad continually to see. It's seriously disappointing to see guns, the importance of guns rights, put over people.
Right. Right.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah. I mean, cut and dry. That's as simple as it is. But it's their right, Gavin. It's their right to have the gun.
Constitutionally, it seems like that's the argument.
Constitutionally, I mean, you already could put there in the first place because the Constitution is a fucked up old law. You know what I mean? Or like a fucked up old paper that these fucking idiots who probably had the IQ of a dog.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's this is I looked up Marjorie Taylor Greene's account just to see.
Oh yeah,
because I heard she had some pretty horrible things to say.
Yep.
But like 4 of her tweets in the last 12 hours have violated the Twitter rules
Oh, that's surprising
Which
because
is
Elon Musk is
no,
on the side.
That's what I mean. Is that it's like she's saying some pretty fucking baseless things if she's getting still flagged on Twitter.
right. Because Elon Musk is like reacted to this tweet about. I mean, I won't get into it, but it's just about bringing up the trans thing as like this person literally like named 5 mass shootings that involve trans people. Of course, we know that there is only 3.
Right.
Not that again, that even is a drop in the bucket of the amount that have been cis white male or whatever cis people. And Elon Musk, just replied with a exclamation point to it. And obviously he's responded to other things. This is just like known fact that he's fucking stupid.
He's so stupid.
Somehow.
I'm looking at Twitter just again about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
That was her congressional Twitter account. I think her real one is actually still banned, but it was actually suspended for violating rules against violent speech, and then for peddling false narratives about transgender people being a part of Antifa.
Well, and again, it's another crazy thing because
It's this
Elon
imaginary boogeyman when the
Yeah.
real boogeyman
right.
that exists right fucking now,
Right.
that there's something you can do about it, are guns.
Right.
That is the boogeyman
Right.
that you can fight because it's a literal thing.
Right.
Antifa is an idea.
Yeah.
Transgender people exist, but they're nowhere near as big of an issue as you may think they are.
They're not an
Guns
issue at all.
are so yeah, exactly. They're not even
Right.
an issue to be fucking talked about.
No.
The issue should be fighting for rights for these people.
Right.
They're people trying to live happy lives. And yes, that probably goes children. It's not about protecting children. It's about protecting your traditionalist views on anything, America.
Right.
Like just on anything.
Which makes
this
no
is
sense.
again. You say this is supposed to be a free country, but going in and making sure that you report, children's menstrual cycles, or you go through and make sure, all this shit about this made up thing, this seemingly made up thing, especially with Antifa. This boogeyman on the left doesn't exist. It's
Right.
an idea. It's not even an official organization.
Right.
It
When
would be
the real problem. And
right.
they're
The real
causing
problem is people peddling fake news, and I hate saying that,
Yeah.
but literally just making shit up
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it got more views, got more clicks.
Yeah.
The real boogeyman is guns. Fix the fucking problem.
Right. But it won't happen.
We had to do school shooter drills in like 4th grade.
Yeah.
We've
course.
had to go through this every single year.
Right.
Every single year. And I'm just done, man. It's another one happened today. You know what I mean? Like every single day there's a new one. So we're not even talking about the one that's probably going to happen Wednesday, the one that's going to happen Thursday and Friday.
Right.
We're not even going to talk about those.
Right. Because they weren't big enough.
Right.
They were all about the big ones.
And even tonight on Tucker Carlson, on Tuesday night, he was peddling a chevron that transgenders are targeting Christians. So just letting you know that's going to be a
the new
talk
thing. Oh yeah, of course.
That's going to be an even bigger talking point now.
Yeah.
Because it was a transgender person
purposefully targeting. a Christian person.
targeting. And then you have Josh Hawley, our own senator,
living in Virginia.
peddling that. What did he say? That it was a hate crime against Christians because they were targeted. The most persecuted I've heard people of all time are Christians and Catholics.
Now I'm gonna say something. It's funny because, in a way, I think you could say that he's right. Okay, now bear with me.
Yeah.
And maybe, I mean, because it kind of is, and I'm not saying that to like defend anybody.
Yeah.
But it's like, what's funny to me is that like he would never and the word they're finally wanting to use the word of considering this a domestic terrorist attack.
Yeah.
Which they all have been. And it's
Right.
like, you guys are getting the point, but it's because it's against your own.
Right.
It's just like, I mean, people like news outlets were considering the shooting at that black church in North or South Carolina, I can't remember. They were considering that a hate crime, but they weren't like making a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
It's because it didn't affect their values or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck. So yeah, it's a stupid fucking thing to say and to make the point of it being a hate crime.
It's not baseless.
It's not baseless.
It's based in reality.
Yeah, but it's
in a
like
way.
it's just pointless to distract you from the other stuff. There's
Right.
no point of
It's
bringing up
guns.
that it's a Christian
It's guns.
attack, hate crime on Christians. Because
Sure.
like you said, it's not a baseless thing to say. It's
Yeah.
not baseless, but it's stupid to bring that
Yeah.
up. It's
Oh,
stupid
you're gonna
to
you're
make
gonna
that the
you're gonna play
point.
victim. You're gonna you're gonna do it now.
Right. Yeah,
Like, you're-
exactly.
You're gonna do it now.
You're
Really?
going to do it when it affects you. And this shit happens all the time. It's like with the FBI and police thing in Trump.
Right.
They're finally like, fuck the FBI, fuck the police for what they did. And it's like,
Yeah.
you don't care until it affects your own.
Right.
And then you'll switch your mind on it again once the next one happens.
Yeah.
And then you'll be forgotten about it.
And it still will be. It will just move on with the news cycle.
Right. But no, it's an important thing to bring up. And it's,
But it's guns.
yeah, it is. That's the problem. And it's just like, as soon as I saw in the news that it was a person who identified as a trans person, I, without even having to look at anything else, knew exactly what was going to happen. Which that is the craziest part, is that this stuff has become so predictable. And it's
Yeah.
like, it was just like, I already knew. I'm like, that's the rhetoric. It has nothing to do with guns. It has to do with trans people.
On the hate crime, Josh Hawley voted against a anti-hate crime against Asians.
Bingo.
He was the only person
Yeah, right.
to vote
Right.
against it.
Right.
Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of 205 Republicans who voted against school-based mental health services
Mm.
because private school institutions are the better ones.
Of course.
Um,
Oof, man, I could go on for another hour about that shit. Yeah,
yeah. So
but it's just and it boils down to like
another reason why Marjorie Taylor Greene's account was because she posted a graphic that referred to a quote-unquote trans day of vengeance.
oh my god, oh my god,
Good Lord, get a fucking be
Jesus
for fucking
Christ.
real. Like honestly,
and
give me
it's
a
like
break.
and
But
I
this
mean, I
is the
think-
only time you care about something happening.
right, but it's still guns are not brought up in their issues.
Right.
Because they have lobbyists who are paying them off
Right.
for other things and yada yada. And I mean, like, I think if somebody was to come to me and to be like, well, what about all the planning and the manifesto about the recent bill that was passed in Tennessee? And to me, I would say, like, I think I just think that is not something to even look at, just like it has been in every single mass shooting, because it boils down to mental health, and then it also boils down to guns.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like and again, it's like I don't know. I don't even want to say that, but it's just pointless to even look at. I mean, maybe I'm not fully thinking this through, but I don't think there's much of a point to look at the motive right now.
Yeah.
You know what I
no,
mean?
For sure.
And like, I don't think that's the main focus. And like, if somebody was to be like, what do you think about their motive on it? I
Yeah.
would be like, I don't think that there's a point to look at that.
Yeah.
Because I think that this person was mentally unwell
Yeah.
and
There's
they had
no
access
sane
to
person
guns
that would
because we
think-
live in America.
Right.
Right. And there's no sane person that would think to do this. And that's the
It's
point.
guns.
It's guns. And below that, guns is way up here. And below that is mental health.
Right.
You know what I mean? Being mentally unwell, having these thoughts about anything.
Right.
About anything.
Yeah. Hurting
don't
any
care-
other human being is
Yeah.
mentally unwell.
I don't care about what
I mean, it
their
really
motive
is.
was.
I mean,
I don't care if it was, right wing, left wing
Yeah.
based. My view is not on the motive.
right.
My view is on how to stop this from happening again.
And it would be guns.
Exactly.
No, it takes a good guy with a gun.
Oh man, I saw plenty of those too. I saw plenty of those. You saw what happened. It was a good guy with a gun that took them down, and that means
Yeah.
we need more of those. And
Yep.
it's like, how many good guys with guns have done
How many-
real
how many
shitty
more?
things? Right.
How many more?
And how many good guys with guns have done mass shootings?
Supposedly good guys.
Supposedly good guys. And I'm not just saying police officers as good guys. I mean, like,
I mean,
I thought
anybody.
he was fine. I thought he was
Well,
a
it's
normal
like
person.
there was a video from like a robbery in Texas. It was like this taco shop. Guy with a gun comes in. Allegedly, it was an airsoft gun, but comes in with a gun and is threatening and like wants them to rob the cash register. Guy supposedly good guy with a gun.
Yep.
Guns down the guy in the store, like shoots him at the door entrance, but then shoots his body like 8 times after he's dead.
Right.
And it's
Right.
a horrible video, but it's like, was good guy to one bullet, but it's like 6,
Right. And that's
7,
the thing,
8.
is like,
You know, it's like, okay, all right, this guy is looking for a reason to use the gun.
right. And that's the thing is like, you talk about giving good guys guns, but like those people saying that do not, and I don't either, do not understand the impact that killing somebody has on you, whether you're a good guy or a bad guy.
Right.
It's going to affect you the same.
Right. Because
You're
again,
not
hurting
gonna
a human
get
being
off
is
on
not
it.
a normal thing.
No, and it's going to be terrible, and it will turn those good guys into, bad guys because that just fucks you up.
Right.
So why would you want to put people through that?
Right.
Either. And I mean, like, that's such a stupid argument compared to like the bigger argument, but
Right.
like that's, if you need to get down
It's going
to
to
that
affect
level,
the good person at one point. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Supposedly good person.
right? Exactly. Yeah. Anything else
So-
you'd like to?
Things are going to change. Things should change. Are they going to? Probably not.
No,
But
not in our lifetime.
not anytime soon. So
Right.
but it's frustrating, and I wish I sympathize with the politicians that have to keep apologizing on both sides
Right.
for this happening.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel for the families.
Yep.
I wasn't a private school
Absolutely.
person, but nobody ever deserves to go through a school shooting.
Yeah.
There's no
Right.
rationale
Right.
for going through a school shooting.
Yeah.
It needs, school shootings just need to stop.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
what you know what I mean? Like what else can we say? I mean,
Right.
it's
And
guns.
you're a better person than I am to bring that up, because like I'm and this is kind of a fucked up thing to say, but it's just the truth. Like, this happens so often that I'm so jaded by
I
the
literally
fact of
had
this.
to put it away for a couple days.
I did
Like
too.
I had to put it
I
away
did
for a
too.
couple hours where I was like, I can't even think about that possibility.
Right.
Now.
Well, I feel like I'm so jaded by these happening.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, okay, what happened? What's the details?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
of course I feel empathy for these people, but it's like I'm finding it hard to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just so often.
Yeah.
Like, I want to feel empathy for it, but it's like
There's only so much. It feels like there's only so much empathy you can give.
I'm angry more than anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And
You
there
know
was
what I
a
mean?
couple parents that came up on the news that were screaming and crying at these reporters. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm tired of doing this.
Right. Right.
Because you know how many times we had to report on this in the last fucking 3 months, dude?
Yeah, of course.
It's ridiculous.
It's insane.
It's not fair.
It's insane. Yeah, I just
You want to talk about protecting children? Get rid of fucking guns.
yeah. Simple. It's just that simple. It's easy.
There you go.
Seems pretty easy to me.
If you care about the children, you're going to get rid of guns.
Right.
Yeah, I mean
Do
that's
it.
if you're gonna talk about how these trans bills are supposed to protect children, how it's all about children protecting children, let's get rid of guns.
Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously, the statistics show that
It's
that
hard.
is-
You want to talk about how facts don't care about your feelings. You know, they always talk about how snowflakes. You know, everybody's
Mhm.
snowflakes. Let's talk about your guns for a couple minutes.
right.
Let's get rid of your guns. What are you gonna use them for? Why is it a sport? Let's get rid of it.
I did.
Nobody needs to die.
Right. That's what I've been thinking. That's what I've been asking. And
How many more?
we're
How many
here
more is it
again.
gonna take to get rid of your guns?
Right. Right.
So moving on.
Moving on. No, I'm glad we could get that out, because that I felt that, it bugging me, and it felt like an important thing to bring up, and we'll probably be talking
Brought
about
up
this
again.
very, very soon. Sorry for all of the terrible shit we've had to talk about today, but we live in America, and this is the shit we have to deal with everything going on, and that's life. But we have to. We have to. I was thinking about this earlier, and I won't go too much into it, but the world around us sucks, but we have to make the best of it. And that a part of that is speaking out about the things we feel passionate about, and getting that out to make a change happen whenever, even though it doesn't happen sometimes. But then the other part of it is like doing things that make us feel good and make other people feel good and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, so to lighten things up as best we can.
To give a peek into daily American life.
Yeah, look,
Further into
speaking of
daily
American life, we do a little thing that we're going to bring the mood up with because this is a fun part of the show that we call Next Door Drama. Now, if you don't know what Next Door is, it is an app. Or a website that is a blog post for your neighborhood. Now, your neighborhood can span up to a couple mile radius, and it's just for people to post about really pointless shit. There's really nothing on there that makes any sense. A lot of lost dog posts, and a lot of other weird shit. So what we do is we take a blog entry every week, and there's 1,000 comments per post. That's just how it goes. And then we script that post out into a dramatic thing that we reenact as if it were happening in real life. So this week, this Next Door Drama is titled Marijuana Themed. Now, I will be playing the character of Rick. Gavin will be playing Glenn.
You ever watch The Walking Dead? Those are two main characters.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Rick and Glenn, yeah.
Maybe that'll come up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You're the one that put it together. Let's see.
I don't remember anything. It's marijuana themed. I can't remember. Without saying much else, we're going to hit the intro and get right into it. This week on Next Door Drama. Sitting here at High Point having lunch, watching people walk in and see the line and walk out. Typical 50s restaurant with a 420 twist. Food is not bad, a little overcooked. The table staff needs a pat on the back. Doing a great job keeping tables clean. I could see this being a kids' hangout. Not a bad thing. Restaurant is clean, even with a constant flow of customer. Very polite and wide menu to choose from. I enjoyed my visit.
What's a 420 twist?
Marijuana themed.
I had the turkey club and it was overcooked, but okay.
Well, there's always a negative Nancy out there. Can't wait to try it myself.
I find your reply more negative Nancy than the rest of the replies here. Unless I am missing something, why did you even reply that?
Well, not everyone has the same taste or preferences. Just saying there's no reason to be nasty when a lot of places that are new always have a few hurdles but manage to work out bugs. Gotta give them a shot first.
However, no one is being nasty. This is what made you discover there was a High Point closer to us.
It is. I was also, as soon as I started playing the music, I just started laughing because I was like, what a fucking weird episode this has been. Like, there's no way to transition from any of this stuff, but hey, man, we're trying to make each other laugh. Move out of this shit. Actually, speaking of that music, can I do a little bit? Do you know the show Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives?
Yeah.
With
Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri. I think. Well, let me just do the bit first. We're here in Tuscaloosa trying out the brand new restaurant Ronnie B's. He's got the best sirloin steak in town, and we're going to go talk to him and see what the customers think. Oh, yeah, I had the sirloin. It was pretty good, really tasty. Oh, man, these fries surely are something. Ice cream! Now, Ronnie, tell me how you make this famous sirloin steak.
Well, I just take a bun, butter it up, put butter on top,
Oh, I love butter.
make a burger, put butter on it,
I love butter.
Put the burger, put the cheese on, butter it.
Oh, that's a lot of butter.
Then I put the other top bun, butter it,
Whoa.
put it all on top with bacon on top.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. So much butter, Ronnie D, or whatever I said
Ronnie
your name
B?
was. Germa did that bit once, and he same thing, where like some song was playing, and he's like, "We're hearing Bobby Butt trying out this burger." And that song instantly made me think of that.
So, High Point's a good place. I did see that okay, so it's funny that he says it was a 420 twist because I think it's literally just a couple beers there. Like they have beer there, and in like a cooler looking thing there,
Right.
And it's just like 420 beer. Like it's got like marijuana, like CBD beer.
Okay.
And that's and I'm not kidding when I say that's the 420 twist I think he was talking about because
Okay.
it's not marijuana themed.
No.
It's nowhere near marijuana themed. It's just like 50s diner kind of feel
Right.
to it.
Now-
not like Denny's diner, but more of like I don't know, modern diner.
Yeah.
Where it's like you order at the front
Like a
and then
Steak
you
and
take
Shake.
yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Whenever I
Shake Shack. It's more of a Shake Shack. Think of it
Right.
more of a Shake Shack. That's what it is.
yeah, because it is a local thing. I always forget to preface that, but I think what you said makes sense about the 420 twist. I thought he was talking about like the menu items were kind of
No.
like weird and wacky,
No.
but they're really not.
No,
now
it's
that I
literally
think
just
about it.
CBD beers there.
That's funny. 420 twist? What does that mean? Marijuana themed. Yeah, they got marijuana lights hanging up.
They got like
Bob Marley playing.
Yeah, they got doobies, joints.
In
they
the
got
burgers.
in the burgers, so you can smoke and eat your burger at the same time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's fucking crazy.
Marijuana themed.
Yeah, marijuana themed. They put marijuana in the burger.
Of course.
Carson, I see it. You didn't put in your what you listened to this week.
effer. I didn't. I need to pull it up too. I know
yeah.
what it is.
So I'm gonna do mine.
Yeah, what do you listen to this weekend?
So I'm listening to
Scott Joplin.
Scott Joplin. Sorry. I'm listening to a lot of Foo Fighters.
Really?
Recently, yeah.
Holy shit.
I've been a fan of Foo Fighters for a long time.
oh,
like,
here he goes.
Yeah. Here we go. I watched the music videos religiously for a long time.
Mm.
And last night I was in the IV room by myself, or a couple nights ago even. It was really a couple nights ago. I was in there not by myself, but I was in there with one of my coworkers, and they mentioned that they're like, you got a really good music taste, and they're like, you got Foo Fighters, Arctic Monkeys, The Strokes, like it's all really good stuff. I'm like, oh, thank you, I appreciate it. But I was like, I really haven't listened to Foo Fighters that much, and I'm gonna have to recommend The Pretender from Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace by the Foo Fighters, which is the What If I Say I'm Not Like the Others.
It's a good song.
And that music video is really cool, and I really like that song a lot.
That's probably
so.
my favorite Foo Fighters song now that I'm thinking about it.
They have an extensive. I didn't realize how long their albums are. They're like an hour long sometimes.
Damn.
They're like earlier stuff mainly, but
It's Dave Grohl doing all that. On
yeah,
the first
I mean,
album.
yeah, it's kind of bonkers. I didn't know that they had that much
Mm.
substance. I thought,
Yeah.
I thought maybe it's like trying to think of a comparison, but it feels like a collaboration band where it's like, oh, that wouldn't be like a. But that's like his main project, so you know.
Yeah, and he
makes
was
sense.
doing it on his own. I
Yeah.
think that first album was all him.
So that's from the album that came out in 2007.
Wow, that came out that late?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize
Their
that.
first one came out in 1995.
Right.
And then 97, 99, 2002, 2005, 2006 was a live album. 2007, 2011, 2014, 2017, Concrete and yeah, they have a new one. 2017, they have a Medicine at Midnight, 2021.
Interesting. Rest in peace, Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah.
Nice. That now it makes me want to re-listen to more Foo Fighters stuff. This week, kind of was not expecting this one. I mean, the genre makes sense, but I am listening to More Power, More Pain by Gideon, or Gideon. I don't know which one it is. Gideon. I would assume Gideon.
More Power, More Pain.
Yeah, they're a hardcore band, of course.
Dude, really?
But I had always heard of them, but I never listened to their music. And my brother Logan actually posted one of their songs on his story and said like, "Oh, New Gideon."
Is that what it's going to take for you to listen to some of my music? Really, dude?
Well, it's gonna have to take you to listen to the hardcore music
No, you're right.
sometimes. And I saw that and I was like, huh. And I was in the gym and I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll put it on. And it was just like, ooh, this is
instant.
Yeah, it's always a good feeling
Instant
when
crush. something
something just like hits and you're like, yep,
Instant Crush.
I like
by
this.
Daft Punk.
By Daft Punk.
That was good.
Just
That's not how the song goes. It's got Julian Casablancas from The Strokes in it, but okay.
I was thinking around the world.
Yeah, I know.
We'll talk about it later.
I'll talk to you after the show.
My only problem, and I bring this up all the time, too many skits, too many
Really?
talking things. And I'm fine if they're all different, but I'm not going to speak on what they are because they might be a serious thing or they might be a fake thing. I think it was a faked thing, but it's just like throughout the whole album. And it's just the same like fake interview setup that makes it sound like it's old. And again, it could be real. I don't know. That gets a little annoying, but luckily a lot of that's skippable. Some of it's not. But some of it's not. Big recommends off of this album are Locked Out of Heaven. I almost said Looked Out of Heaven. Locked Out of Heaven.
You make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven
I got Bruno Bars.
for too long.
We got Bruno Bars right up in here. Also, Push It Back, really good. And then kind of a surprise for me that I really enjoyed was Midnight Blues, kind of an interesting song. Yeah, just a fucking banger album. If you're a gym rat, this is a good, it's just like really breakdown heavy in a good way, because sometimes that can be in a bad way, but they're really good. Kind of an interesting band. I just like briefly looked through their Instagram, and their front man wears cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. Which is, they're from Alabama, my least favorite state, I think. But yeah, so they just seem to
You've
have
been through Alabama, right?
too many times.
Okay, that's what.
Anytime you go to Florida, you go through the whole state,
Yeah.
and that's what makes me hate that state. I just don't like Alabama. Most people from Alabama are fine.
Yeah.
But the state sucks. It's a bad state. Sorry, Alabama. Hope you're not listening. Anything else from you, Gavin?
I don't think
I feel emotionally drained.
Yeah. Let's get out of here.
Let's get the fuck out of here. There it is.
Well, everybody, thanks for listening to the Takes All Kinds podcast, episode 108. Out of 100.
Sorry it was a doozy, Evan.
Sorry it was a doozy, a long one, but a lot of jam-packed episode again.
Jam-packed, canceled. I got us canceled a couple times.
Yeah, a couple times.
I take it.
It's a weekly occurrence here on the show, so.
True, we just back and forth.
Keep watching, keep sharing, keep listening, keep talking it up, keep sharing it. Keep sharing it. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep commenting. Let us know what you think.
Make sure you rate and review.
Make sure you rate and review.
Make sure you Sharon Osbourne.
The vultures are waiting to pick your bones.
Goodbye, bye.